Art brings me life. It's part of the things that just makes me be me, makes me Brad. The process of my art doesn't start here. The process of my art starts when I'm not here, because I can be home, even like coming up here today. The process started long before I opened the door. It was when yesterday, and then the day when I woke up, and then thinking about it, and then coming here, processing it, the opening of the door, and then putting on this clothes. And usually when I carve, I got music rocking and rolling, and I listen to the beat of the song, the beat of the music. It's not so much the song itself, it's the beat I listen to. And that sort of puts me in a process or a mood that I'm locked in. And it's the zone I'm looking for. And once I'm in the zone, I can be here sometimes, and I'll do 5 hours, and it's like, oh wow, I forgot to eat, or I forgot to drink water. But it's getting in the zone, and that's part of getting in the zone. Believe it or not, this is one of my favorite spots, right here. You know, like if somebody was taking a picture, I'd put right here. I like this stone. It's sort of, I took to it like a duck to water.
What quality about cutting the stone, about carving the stone that really intrigued you?
I would have to say the beauty, and to believe it or not, the softness of the stone once it's done. When you touch it, it feels so smooth and soft, and it does something for my insides. It makes it feel fuzzy. And I leaned it down. I said, geez, you know, it reminds me of the cross, of a cross being carried. And that's how it got its name. You know, pick up your cross. Sometimes it's harmonious with what's coming out of me. And then sometimes it's God. That's all it is to it. Well, you look in the hole and there's a mirror and you see an eyeball looking back at you.
Come on. Move to your left just a little bit more.
The Guardians. First thing, this is your friend. Yeah, I've been masking up for 28 years, so.
Smart.
Hi, my name is Bradford Lee, and I'm a sculptor. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I could say that I'm a sculptor. I used to say I was just a stone cutter. But finally I got to the point where after many stones, it's like, yeah, I can sculpt now. So I finally got the confidence to be able to say it.
Is there a tradition of stone cutting that brought you to that term of stone cutter?
There are stone cutters that do quarries, that cut in quarries, and they're called stone cutters. And I like to put myself down with blue collar worker, you know. So it's like I'm a stone cutter too. But it's finally I got to the point where I don't just cut stone; I sculpt them into pieces of art. So.
When you look at one of these beautiful raw pieces of stone, do you see what's coming?
Some artists will speak about the spirit. There's this spirit in a lot of the stones that you think, well, it's just a rock. No, there's something in there that drives me to go a certain way sometimes. It may be the shape, it may be the the color of the stone or a vein in the stone, but it makes my brain go the way that the stone wants me to go. And I've had a stone called Sybil, and I had that stone for 5-6 years just laying up against a beam, and I couldn't see a thing. And one day I was leaving the studio and I turned off the lights, looked back, there it was. It was a Sybil. I could see every single piece of the way it's supposed to be carved. I could see how the shoulders were supposed to be together. It's like one shoulder on one side is the other shoulder on the other side. Everything was a gift from God. It was wonderful. It's the elusive being shown to others. I'm the vessel. I'm told what to carve, and what happens is the results of what I'm told what to carve and which ways to go is the results is the end product. I don't know if it's been diagnosed or anything like that, but I have a compulsive behavior on lots of things. Like I can leave a house and I can turn off a light, but I'll turn off the light a couple times to make sure it's off. And that's a compulsive behavior. And when it comes to carving, I do the same things. I can start sanding or start carving on it, and I'll carve on it and I'll look at it and no, and I'm not done. Carve some more. Nope, not done. And I'll keep going at it and at it and at it. And sometimes I'll just set it on the pedestals or the barrels, and I'll sit back and I'll look at it. And this compulsive behavior forces me to go back and take more off all the time. I stay with it and stay with it until I hear the tick in my head say stop. And I tell my wife this, and it's like, it's almost like an audible tick. I can almost hear it go, stop, you've done enough. But if I don't hear it, I keep going as far as I can on the stone until I hear that in my head say, it's almost sort of like, it's something that clicks. And that's it.
Have you ever gone too far?
Oh yeah. I went past it. I heard the stop, and I forced it a little bit further. Stone split in half.
Oh, that's a pretty interesting metaphor for life.
Yeah, well.
I think I want to do it one more time.
Yeah, I would say do it one more time, but I'm set.
Just describe the piece and a little bit about what it means.
Politics of My Skin is one of my more, you got to think about it, stone, because it's so twisted and it's so two different colors, and it's like, well, what happened is when I saw this movie, this Caucasian person lived in Africa and she lived with black people, so she fell in love with a black man, and the black people didn't like it and the white people didn't like that. And here in Racine, me being a black person, I lived in a white neighborhood, and I fell in love with white Caucasian women, and the Caucasian people didn't like it, and the black people didn't like it. So it's like, it's just twisted. You fall in love with who you fall in love with. And it's as easy as that.
If you could give one piece of advice to a young artist, an aspiring artist who wants to live this life, what would it be?
Start young with a dream and pursue it. Don't give up. If your art takes you to go into school to perfect it, then go to school. If it means coming in at night after you have a job or something, you don't have money, you have to come in after work, come in after work. But keep at it. Don't give up and give up your dream. You got to stay with it. good there's editing because, even when I was talking about the stones, I left out a procedure, and all of my students would go, hey, you left out rasping.
I document them, documenting us.